Here we go again with the police. Let's get right into the article because I'm going to do a pretty big rant right after this. Border Patrol team who ultimately killed shooter were blocked from entering school by Uvalde police for nearly an hour. When Border Patrol and Immigration and Customs Enforcement arrived at Robb Elementary School during the shooting, they were held back by Uvalde police for nearly an hour, according to a new report. It was an agent or agents from BORTAC, an elite Border Patrol tactical team, who ultimately gained access to the room and killed the shooter as Uvalde police stood back. According to a report from the New York Times, Border Patrol arrived at the scene 12 p.m. and 12:10 after driving up from the Mexican border, according to two officials that they spoke to on the condition of the anonymity. This arrival time is much earlier than previously believed. They were not able to breach the adjoining classrooms where the gunman was until just before 1 p.m. because they were not allowed entry. The officials said that members of the Uvalde Police Department kept the federal agents from going in sooner, the Times report states. The new details deepen questions about the tactics used to respond to the shooting and the length of time it took with officers on the scene to end the carnage. The report continued. The federal agents reported that they arrived to a scene of chaos, people pulling children out of windows, while the local police, carrying only handguns and a few rifles, were trying to secure a perimeter, according to one official, who, like the others, spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss an ongoing investigation. The Border Patrol and ICE agents did not understand why they were left to wait, according to the official. Eventually, the specialized Border Patrol team went into the building. The agent or one of the agents involved with neutralizing the shooter was injured by gunfire. The Uvalde police had reportedly attempted to enter the room as the shooting was underway, but two officers were shot and injured, prompting them to fall back. There were still children alive inside the room with the shooter, including one who covered herself in a peer's blood to play dead, and a young girl who was in the room bleeding out, only to later die in the hospital. On Thursday, Texas Department of Police told CNN's Wolfblood that the police were reluctant to engage the killer because they could have been shot. Well, that's their fucking job now, isn't it? You took the badge, you take the risk. It's your fucking job, isn't it? Don't current best practices, don't they call for officers to disable a shooter as quickly as possible, regardless of how many officers were actually on site? Let's watch this guy squirm and really try to defend under the reason why this happened.
Wolf, is that there was multiple officers that arrived on scene. There was 3 officers that arrived that made entry at one of the entrances where the gunman actually made entrance to. We had another 4 officers that made entry at the other entrance of the school. So there was officers inside that school. As they were taking gunfire, they were also calling in for reinforcement, backup, tactical teams, snipers, any additional personnel that could arrive to assist to not only with the situation, but also to assist in evacuating students and teachers. At that time, that's when a U.S. Border Patrol tactical officer arrived, also with a Zavala County Sheriff's deputy, as well as 2 additional Uvalde Police Department officers were able to go into that classroom with a ballistic shield as cover. And of course, we know that one of those officers, an agent, actually was shot, was grazed at the top of the head, but they were able to shoot and kill the suspect and preserve any other life. We know that there was other injured children inside that classroom that they were able to save as well and get them to cover. And at that point, it became a recovery process, a rescue operation, trying to rescue the injured and also any other potential children or teachers that were inside those classrooms.
But don't current best practices, Lieutenant, call for officers to disable a shooter as quickly as possible, regardless of how many officers are actually on site?
Correct. The active shooter situation, you want to stop the killing, you want to preserve life, but also one thing that, of course, the American people need to understand is that officers are making entry into this building. They do not know where the gunman is. They are hearing gunshots. They are receiving gunshots. At that point, if they proceeded any further, not knowing where this suspect was at, they could have been shot. They could have been killed. And at that point, that gunman would have the opportunity to kill other people inside that school. So they were able to contain that gunman.
No. Sorry, you did not get this pass from me, you little shitbag. Listen, you had 40 to 60 minutes, and from what we're seeing here is that we had the actual Border Patrol officers come in, and they were being blocked from going in. All right, blocked. So what the fuck is up with that shit? Okay, that's the first thing. Number 2. what is going on with the fact that, like, what other people are being shot at. He was barricaded in a classroom. A kid was bleeding out because you fucking retards were not brave enough or men enough to go in and be able to stop the issue at hand. That's the problem here. No, you guys are cowards. I expected much more from the Texas police, and why anybody would want to move to Texas at any point in time other than to be able to have guns so you can be able to defend yourselves beyond fucking me. And I know you guys are probably saying, oh, well, this is from CNN. They take everything with a grain of salt, whatever. It's like, I understand this. But I think there's a unity currently right now to where both the left and the right are furious at the police. And they should be. They freaking should be. Now, of course, the left are going to use this evil narrative to say, like, we should start going after people's rights. You know what? Maybe this tragedy wouldn't have happened if they let the parents that were armed go in. Or maybe this tragedy wouldn't have happened if maybe they let the parents be parents and defend their kids. The police officers who were actively going out to tase them, they were pepper spraying them, and they were knocking them down, preventing the parents from saving their kids. One brave mother, which has more balls than any of the police officers there, decided to go in there and save her own kid. And by the way, why did the police officers go and save their kids, but they didn't let the parents? Nah, you guys get no fucking sympathy from me. Oh, no. I am outraged. This is ridiculous. And every last one of those officers had their police badges removed. All 70 of them. All 70 of them. And if you, the police chief, if you are the actual police chief, if you are there and you actively let this happen, you get your badge revoked. I do not want to see a single pathetic police officer there. The fact that you guys would say, oh, well, we're going to get shot. I don't care if you're going to get shot. You put on that badge and you go to protect people. Protect and serve, and that is your duty. That is your job. And if you can't do that, remove your freaking badge and give it to somebody else that are actually going to do their job. You had the Border Patrol officers going in, ready to go, and you stopped them. You don't get this excuse from me. Get the hell out of here. The official explained that new law enforcement had decided to wait for a tactical team to arrive while isolating the killer to that class, where children remained alive and desperately calling 911 for help. Yeah, you had kids calling 911 for help, and you had people begging you to go in. You were doing nothing. Kids were screaming and people were calling for help, and you were denying them that help. You sick, evil motherfuckers. You have 19 kids dead, all on your hands. The blood is on your hands. I hope you suffer and squirm for knowing that all that 19-year-old, all those kids, all that kid blood is on your hands because you were too cowardly to save them. There are 70 of you. 70 police officers. You couldn't surround the building and go in there and apprehend one individual? Are you kidding me? No, I don't want to hear your excuse. I'm even going to finish the video because that's disgusting. Oh, they're going to come and... Oh, we're going to get shot. Okay, that's part of the damn job. And is that like there's just one man or two people there? No, there wasn't even just 10. There were 70 police officers. And you have parents with guns going to go save their kids, and you were not allowing them to go. They were being more courageous than you. No, get out of here. This is the reason why the Democrats are like, oh, let's take the guns away. Yeah, and leave us behind in the hands of these useless police officers. Useless. There's nothing else to defend yourselves with. Nothing at all. The active shooter situation, you want to stop the killing, you want to preserve life, but also one thing that, of course, the American people needed to understand, that officers were making entry into this building. They do not know where the gunman is. They are hearing gunshots. They are receiving gunshots, the DPS official said. Yeah, and there's 70 of you. Do your job. At that point, if they proceeded any further, not knowing where the suspect was at, they could have been shot, they could have been killed, and that gunman would have an opportunity to kill other people inside inside that school. Or as continue. Oh no, that wouldn't have happened because you know why? Because the actual parents would have gone in there with their actual AR-15s and killed the bastard that was going to go do the job. So no, the parents were going to go do the job for you. They were going to risk their lives for their children, but we all know that you didn't risk your lives for their children. You risked your lives for your own children, got your own children out, and you didn't do a damn thing about the other parents' children. No. Get out of here. I'm hoping that the Governor Abbott, when all this is said and done and the healing is rightfully done because these parents need to heal, and they should be furious. And I would believe them. I agree with them. Is that after all this damage is done, is that Governor Abbott takes every last one of those police officers and says, "You are all fired. All of them are fired." And then the guy that risked his life got injured, and the Border Patrol give them freaking medals of honor and increase their pay because they actually did something. And then proceed to sue the police department because obviously they didn't do their job. All these things need to happen. Every last one of those things that I just mentioned needs to happen. Period. Without a doubt. Because these sick individuals did not do their job. And then let's get on to the far left real quick. They're making it a political issue when it should never have been a political issue, especially immediately after, which is also a sickening thing. But another thing that they're also advocating for is to take people's guns, right? Alright, let's take people's guns. And then leave us at the defensive mercy of the police officers that did not do their job. And they leave the people that can't defend themselves to die. That's what you're leading them to do. We've seen it in California, Portland, Chicago, New York, where crime is very rampant. People can't get guns easily, and people are getting assaulted, beaten, and etc. across the board at those places because they don't have weapons to defend themselves. But yeah, let's take people's guns and be defenseless and have the police come in. Do you know how quick something bad can happen to somebody and you don't have the time to react? Dangerous stuff happens very quickly. Good example is the Kyle Rittenhouse thing. All that stuff happened within a matter of 5 minutes. And a lot of the things that happened is milliseconds to seconds. Those seconds, that precious amount of time, does not give you enough time to call the police. You have to dial 911. Then after dialing 911, you have to talk to the actual dispatch. And then the dispatch has to, after pretty much interrogating you, they have to send the police to you. All of that takes time, more time than when you're getting attacked. If you have a weapon, a gun, you can immediately quell the problem immediately. Then after, you call the police. That's the reality. Time is not on your side in crucial and dangerous environments. In crucial, dangerous situations. That's just fact. Time is everything. And then sometimes you just don't have the time to do it. You don't have the time to dial 911. You're panicked. Same thing with Kyle Rittenhouse. He was attacked. Why the hell did the police not help him? They were right there, right? Why did the police help him, huh? They were right there. No, he had to take his life in his own hands and defend himself. So Democrats, your solution's not going to be right either. Because you're going to have way more blood on your hands if you try to remove gun rights from people. If anything, this is showing that you need guns. to protect yourselves and your loved ones. 100%. And Democrats want to take that defensive measure away from you. So you can be left defenseless, at the mercy of what they deem necessary. That's it for the video, guys. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. God bless and God fucking take care.